All right. What's going on, everyone? How are you? We are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show with your host, me, Juan D. Clouser. This is episode 257 of this podcast of why do you do this, dude? How do you live with yourself? This whole week, hope you guys are doing well, by the way. Let me say that. Hope you guys are doing well, doing swell. I should probably put some chapstick on. But, this week, I have been, I feel like I've been really writing aimlessly. For the last 4 months, I took time off in the sense of putting my stories into contests. I just felt like, hey, John, instead of harboring yourself in this little bubble and keeping yourself here, just write stories. So I was writing because normally a lot of writing contests, they don't want you to write past 2,000, 3,000 word stories because that's ridiculous. Because it's understandable. Because if you were to do a lot, or you were to allow or not have a limit of words, people would give you a 40-page story and then be like, what the hell? Why didn't you read all of it? It's well, because it's 40 pages, dude. And there's 800 entries. So come on, man. Let's be real. So the one I'm doing this month is a 5,000 word limit, which is decent because the story I'm using is right now before it's been really right before it's been really hunkered down and edited on. I'm sitting at 8,300, a little over that. So I'm going to have to there's going to be a lot of editing that is going to have to get done. But when I write, what I do is I start writing a story. I write the title or the working title. I put the date, and then I write my words for that day. Next day, write a line, do at the date. And so sometimes I take the same sentence or a sentence or two from what I've already written just to kind of get that motor running again. And so it's a lot of that. It's a lot of me having to cut off. Oh, I've already said that sentence 3 times already. And it was just basically to get myself back into the rhythm of the story. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. It's fun. It's great. It's awesome. It's so much fun. Yeah. The story concept this month is just relationships. And so I'm doing this one about, I don't know. At least I walked away yesterday after reading it. It was a full read through. Yesterday was a full read through plus a mild edit. So it was basically you do a read through, then you do another read through, and then with the second read through, you okay, we're gonna take. You basically, I have a what do they call a pencil, an apple pencil or pencil apple, I don't know. And so I'm reading and I'm having the computer read it to me, and I'm okay, I circle that, I take that off, we're gonna get rid of this, and so it's just a mild cut, and I'm just just doing just a really quick mild edit, but and the reason why it's considered, at least I consider it, a full edit day is because I'm editing the whole story in one sitting versus me going down. I'm okay, today we're working on the beginning of it. So how can I get this to be snappy and get it to be really interesting? We fall right into the thing. My big, what I've realized too is I really like falling right into a situation, and that's with all my art, all my stories tend to you're falling halfway into it. So for example, instead of showing you a car crash, you are boom, you're in the twisting of the car being flipped. So that's where you're kind of getting into that's the idea that I'm kind of giving you. And so you're what the hell, how did this even happen? Then I have to bring you back, bring you forward. And so walking out of yesterday's little editing thing with myself, I was okay, we are doing this. We got this. I think we have a rough idea of what we're going to do, but it's about it's a story about, yes, relationships, but it's about memories. So it's with anybody. I just used love, for example, in this story, but it's really with anything. You have friendships, love, you have relations, you have just interactions with people, and the thing is, like, events occur with you and that person, and that's what brings you two together. And so then, like, when you guys go apart and then when you guys come back together, when you guys hang out, like, that's what's so fun, that's what's so awesome, that's the whole idea of, that's basically the whole thing. It's just memories. It's like how, like, we all have these keys to these lock boxes of memories of each other. And especially when you are in love with somebody or you're dating somebody. And so in this story, it's about Juanito, and he is dating a woman who is married in this, and he knows, and she's older, she's an older woman, and he knows that, like, this is not going to work, like, this is just this crazy fucking situation. But it's really just a series of, like, him having this epiphany moment of growing up. It's a lot of, right now I feel like I'm writing a lot of like, oh, I'm maturing slightly in my head. I'm the fog. I felt like I was coming out this, like, in 32, but it's another era of this. And I feel like as a male, it's so difficult. But I guess maybe it's a metaphor of me. I'm coming out of I'm feeling like I'm growing up in my art and my ability to tell a story. So it's kind of like also what I've been really trying to play with, and I'm really trying really hard to keep in moments too. Like, most of the time I feel like I'm not in a moment long enough as, like, a storyteller, because when you're filmmaking, the whole point of it is to get in and out and to tell the story in the shortest amount of time as possible. But when you're writing, you neglect so much that you could be telling. You're not squeezing the whole lemon for the lemonade. So it's you have to remember that, as, because it's two different art forms, but another, I'm working two different parts of my brain, because you have to be able to, like, you have to fully flush out an idea when you write, and then to fully flush it out, that's how you're able to make, like, really, like, quick, cuts, and, like, be able to tell just the meat of when you make a film. And so that it benefits both hands. It's just I have to just, hey, stop, slow down. It's okay. Remember, this is different. So this story's been really, that's also what I was really happy with yesterday. It was like, I'm like, okay, I am staying in moments pretty good, and I'm like, okay, and this is a really nice base for this is a really great base for the story. And now I just need to, puff up this, cut off the fat off that, because that's not absolutely necessary. It doesn't make any sense. And, like, sometimes I could tell where I'm like, oh, you simply wrote that sentence just because you knew that was going to be 25 words, and that was going to eat up a good little portion of your wordage for the day. So it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I talk about all the time how I'm just, like, in my brain, like, oh, this is so hard. But, like, it's moments like that. It's like yesterday when I was like, okay, we're getting someplace. We're doing something. We're trying really hard. And now it makes it even better, because it's like, oh, I have a contest I can now enter this into. And so, like, because I don't, like, as much fun as it is, but it's also like, hey, you got your shit out there, dude. Like, you're getting your stuff out there. And it's going to be nice to, I don't plan on winning, because I don't think I'm that good, but it's really cool to be able to be like, oh, this is what you're doing with your life. This is what you're doing. And I think I'm not saying it's a noble thing, because it's not, like, serving for our country. I think that's a noble thing. But what I do think it is, I think it is something that is, like, okay, like, you're sharpening your knife as a human, and you're trying to make yourself better and better and better. Then I also, like, I started reading the Stephen King with Salem's Lot. I've always heard about it. Never. I never saw the movie either. And I'm like, you know what? Let's read some Stephen King. And so that's, like, my book I've been reading. I started reading, and that's, like, so much fun. I forgot how much fun it is to, like, sit down. And it's like, John, why were you doing, like, but it was like, as a kid, I was doing other arts things. I was playing a lot of music. I was doing a lot of music. And I think that's, like, because I think that's an easy way to get into it. And then you kind of, like, grow up, and you kind of, like, mature into other atmospheres. Because, like, you go into music, and then you start writing music. And then that gets you into like, because like you start doing like, I guess like like songs, and then from songs you start writing like more like short stories, and that's when I started, because then it was about, because I started writing short stories. I was thinking, I had to be like 13 or 14, because I read a lot of the Goosebump books. That was like basically all I read growing up, and then the shit you had to read in high school and middle school. Was it Old Man the Sea, Moby Dick, Mice and Men, which is still, I don't understand. I mean, it's such a simple, and like the thing too, like when you read these books, like these books are only like 85 pages. Like these books are not that long. Remember when we were like young, and we were like, I can't believe we have to read this long pile. It's nothing. You could honestly knock it out in a weekend. You could knock it out in a fucking day if you really tried. Take a fucking Adderall, probably. I wouldn't know. I don't do that. I actually like to eat, so sorry. But yeah, it's just fun stuff. Just doing that, doing my art. It's going good. Just did a short. It's taken me about 2 weeks to find like the perfect drip for the blood. So that's been like the big thing with that. It's just so, it's so crazy how like, it was such a simple little thing, but this one thing that I just want to get done, because if I don't get this thing, this little part right, I feel like it's not going to get the whole, it's not going to, there was no point in making any of it all, because it's only like 2 minutes long. It's a 2 minute long film. And that's the thing, is like, make something really good, really short, make people wanting more with your short films, and then you can do your long format stuff in your writing, because that's what writing's supposed to be. Because if you can stretch out a fucking thing, like, because like there's like scenes where like this guy and this girl are in a car, and it's like the crescendo of like their relationship, and they're making love in this car, and he's like describing it, and how like it starts off with them on the highway, then like going to the side of the road, and then like finishing, and then like it was just like all this huge whoosh, this whole typhoon of feelings that was supposed to overcome you as a reader and build you up to this. And like, because like, well, why are you telling me the story? Because it starts off with the main character with this other woman, but then it ties her back, and it comes back around to the girl that he was with at the beginning, and how it's like, oh, he's just now going to basically make he's going to make new memories with this new girl now. So it's pretty much it. It's kind of very similar to, you could compare it to, what would be the good way of comparing it? You compare it to 500 Days of Summer meets Let the Right One In, which is so funny, because Let the Right One is about a girl vampire who befriends this little boy. And the Swedish version, because I think in the American version, I know they made an American version. In the American version, I think it's a boy that befriends a little girl. I think it's the other way around. I think. It's not like I could know, but anyway, that's the point. The point of it is, because I'm taking it from the Swedish version, because the Swedish version is better. But it's funny, because I watched it recently, and I'm like, oh, this is super slow, because I watched it to kind of get a little bit of a reminder of the tempo that I'm trying to go with. And I'm like, the only thing I found, I'm like, that movie's fucking slow. I enjoy it, but I can tell like a lot of because it was made in 2008. 2008 or 2009, because it was like right when I graduated from high school. It was like around the high school, almost freshman college area. And what it's about is this girl who is a vampire, and she befriends this boy, and it's a boy, because he was getting picked on all the time. Yeah, because I'm like trying to remember. I'm like, yeah, it's a boy, right? Yeah, because this little boy who keeps getting picked on, and this boy basically falls in love with her. I'm going to tell you the story, basically. Spoiler alert, it came in 2008. You should just see the movie. But long story short, this guy ends up like growing up with this girl because she's a vampire. She's this little girl, and you find out that this little girl basically just uses like a human vessel until like they're done. It's that kind of thing, and then like they end, and like they just, and so like for her, she has all these memories. That's why I was using it. Like she has all these memories of these like different people, all these different guys that she's used until they die, because they get old. And then she eventually just the male ends up sacrifices himself to her, and then she gets a young boy again, and then like she does the whole process again because she's this little child, so she's just a little girl vampire, because it goes by the storyline of like when you're a vampire, whatever age you were when you got bit, that's the age you stay at for the rest of time. So you don't get older, you don't get younger, you just stay that age, but you're invincible unless you get shot with a silver bullet or garlic. I believe that's the other thing. Weird, right? Okay, well, goddamn, dude, I've spoken for almost 15 minutes. For 60 minutes? Okay, anyway. Should we do the video of the week? But yeah, that's basically it, guys. It's fucking stuff. This is art. This is what I'm doing. This is my life right now in work. But so, voila. Anyway, so here we go. Here's the video of the week. Whining. Oh, no. Okay, here we go.
Because I'm wearing these ribbons. I care more than any of you about anything. And these ribbons say so. I want you people sitting at home and you people in the audience, look down at your lapel right now. I want you to do this. Put the camera back on me. Do this. When you look down, what do you see? You don't see anything because you're not wearing any ribbons. It means you're a bigot. It means you're a racist. It means you're a sexist. It means you're a homophobe. It probably means you're a white guy. It probably means you're a European. And you alone are responsible for all the ills of America. But I'm not, because I'm wearing these ribbons. I care more than you.
Welcome to the John Show with your host, John Doogie Clouser.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny because it reminds you a lot what's going on, like what goes on right now with like virtual signaling, can't say the word, when you are trying to get attention because you're on the right side of an issue. It's like, yeah, well, obviously, no duh, like that's what we should be all, like, no shit. It's when people like, well, that's the reason why I'm starting to, that's why, like, I noticed like years ago. Have you ever noticed that like the first, like on social media is like the first big comment that has like 18,000, like is like 18.2K likes or hearts? It's always like something that says like, oh, like I don't understand all the comments. These comments on this video makes me feel bad about humanity or makes me question humanity. And it was like, yeah. It's like, well, no shit. That's a virtue signaling. That's it, virtue signaling. And so that's basically that video. It was Rush Limbaugh. I don't know if any of you guys know that. Like my dad listened to him all the time. I thought it was interesting. I never minded at all. I liked listening to what my dad listened to. My dad listened to a lot of talk radio growing up. When he would be driving his Dodge Dakota, he had a Dodge Dakota, and then he got a Ford 1500. He also had a van, Honda Odyssey. I know, right? Honestly, I know. But anyway, yeah. So this thing was made in 94 or 96. 96. I want to say 96 because I was like 7. I think I was like 7 years old when that was made. And yeah, it was basically at that time they had these like ribbons for like, like people for like breast cancer, AIDS, all these different things, and people would wear them. And then if you didn't wear a ribbon at that time, you were considered like someone who wasn't, like, you're like, are you not for anything? Like, what's the problem? What's your problem? Like, do you not like people? Like, oh, and like people who wore them, like, well, I'm wearing one because like I wear them because like I want people to know what's going on with humanity. And it was a lot like what's going on when, like, if you don't like talk about, or if you're like, hey, maybe like both sides are fucked, or like, hey, it's okay, or like if you're like, Jewish and you're like, hey, sometimes things that Jewish things do. Like, all the bombings like that, it was wild. That was real wild. I'm glad that's not happening anymore. I'm glad we're kind of at a ceasefire on that. Things like that. Or like you're kind of like, it sucks that I know like how people are blaming President Trump right now for the shooting, like for like these plane crashes. It's like, yeah, it's happening like barely when he got in. Just when he got in, like, yeah, of course, like the weirdest shit always happens when a president comes in. Like, I feel like a lot, and like he's doing all these executive orders. Like, you gotta understand, like a lot of these. You understand, like nothing was happening in the last 4 years with the other guy because he was not there, and it's sad. And he shouldn't have been president because he should have been like sitting, watching TV, sitting on a couch, like, drinking water and, a root beer. That's what he should have been doing. But he wasn't able to do that. So like, just relax. It's okay. It's going to happen. Things are going to happen. Like, things are going to. Why do you guys are acting like he hasn't been president before? He's been president before. Just let it. It's okay. It's okay. But like having that mindset makes you think, like sometimes some people will be like, well, then you just don't care enough. You don't care enough. And so that said the whole video. I just thought it was funny because it's like full circle. It's always happening over and over again. Even it happened back in like Rome. There was this Rome, what's her name? God, I just was reading it today. There it is. Symbia. There, hold on. Let me get it. It is Sibylle. Yeah, Sibylle. It was like it's a Roman myth. So this is back in the old times, like, back when they were trying to like find like an oligarchy. They were trying to like make a republic. They were trying to figure this out in Rome and Greece. There was this. They had to believe that this god was a half man, half woman, and this goddess was so horny and was like having all this sex all the time, and they got her. So what they did is they got her drunk and they nailed her penis to the ground, and then when she got up, she ripped it off, and then people would believe that time happens, and like like they believe in like they believe in these gods and goddesses like that, because that's how people were like polytheistic, so they had to believe in multiple different things. They do believe in this for this, believe in that and that, because it affects your life a little bit differently versus it would affect my life. So you would believe in certain things versus I would believe in certain things when we were polytheistic. Kind of like, it's much like the Catholic. Even though Catholic believes, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, they also, everyone has an angel that they have, or a saint or somebody that they are connected to, and so they do a lot of the prayers towards that as well, because that is their connection. I'm not Catholic. I'm just saying this is kind of what I hear from the hear through. Anyway, so yeah, so these people would worship this goddess, and the men would chop off their penises and the women would chop off their breasts and sacrifice of this god, much similar to like what's going on now with people cutting off their dicks and penises. You could say dicks and things for like being a virtue signal, saying that they're on the right side, or like they're like being part of a union. Same thing. But anyway, I'm done talking about that. Like, I think we should do something. You guys want to lighten this up? Because I have some Craigslist. Hold on, I gotta send I'm just gonna add that to the end. Yeah, I'll just do that later. I don't have to do it live. I can do it post-op. I could do a post-op, Juan. Anyway, so it was so funny because what I learned, I've been doing misconnections. If you're not familiar, we're about to do Craigslist misconnections, and if you're not familiar with what it is, there's this place on Craigslist. It's like a little sub place where people go, and they go and they search because they had like an interaction with a human, and they are like, damn it, dude, I should have just asked for their number, or like I'm looking for someone who can be a friend or something like that, or they're looking, or like they had a friend and they're trying to reconnect with that person, but they don't have their phone number anymore. Those kind of situations. Anyway, so I've been going trying to get away from Kansas City and just trying to do like all over the place. We were doing the best of for a while, and those were like those super long ones, and it was just wild and crazy, and it was just too much. And then so we were doing Kansas City very beginning. That's what I started off with, and we went back to it, and we did like the best of, and now I'm just doing like all over the place. And so what I realized was like doing all over the place, it's much wilder, way out there in the universe of this place, and doing that, like some of these things get removed pretty quick. So if you don't screenshot them, like I have to, I used to just save the link on my, because I have a spreadsheet that I use every week, and that's like my format for the show. And I would just have the link, and I would just click the link, and we would just do it live. I would just link it live because I have internet. Can't do that. So glad I checked right before the show started, because we would have, I think 6 of the 8 of them were taken down. So anyway, here we go. First one, Game Seeker, NISO, a content to play seeker tournament. Sign up through the link to apply. Right. Okay. Next one. Okay. Coffee Lincoln. Hey, any guy looking for a afternoon coffee with a lady? Right. Hiking. And I don't know, like, because they don't have. Okay. Oh yeah, Columbia. I forgot. I was just hiding. Okay, there we go. Now I can see where it's from. I'm like, I know I have the location of where these are. So this is Columbia, Missouri. Active partners. Hiking. Looking for someone likes the outdoors, hiking, biking, MKT trails, mountain biking trails, maybe something like that. I am easygoing gentleman, not into politics. I like you, dude. I already like you. Hell, dude, if you're not weird, if you like golf, I'm always looking for people to golf with. Oh my God, golf is back. Have a tea time today at 2:10. It's back. There's enough. The snow has melted. The world has unthawed itself enough where I can go play golf today. So that was a big thing to do. I was going to do after this podcast. If you like chat first, let me know. All right. Okay, next one. This one's Kansas City. Kansas City Active Partners. Good thing for the middle-aged lady. Lee Summit. You're looking for a mineral egg like you to see where it goes. If you're looking for eggs like you to see where it goes, if you are her, send message. Okay, crazy. These ones are dumb this week. Okay, this is Lake the Ozarks, Kansas. This is Lake the Ozarks down in Missouri. This is southern Missouri. Let's go fishing. Camdenton is about like 2,300 people town. Yeah, it's like just barely over 2,000 people. Yeah, it's not that big of a place. It's like right outside of the Lake of the Ozarks. Let's go fishing, Camdenton. The weather's going to be nice today. Any ladies want to go fishing? That was 22. That was about. I screenshotted these all today, so this was 21 minutes ago. Yeah, because I did it literally right before the show. Wild, right? This was about an hour ago. This was Tulsa, Oklahoma. Post-punk musician female, new singer for classic rock hard buddy. Weather is nice, would like to get out and have some fun. I'm nice lady, open to suggestions. Who gets bored in his mind? Yeah, yep. Anyway, Omaha, you dipshit. Looking for a woman active partner, Omaha. Get in touch. I know, right? This one's in St. Louis, and I think, okay, this will be the last one we'll do. This is sewing. This is St. Louis sewing. Looking for someone who knows how to use a sewing machine and would be willing to help me learn. That's it's humble, right? It's just nice and simple, nothing crazy. But anyway, yeah. So that was Craziest Misconnections this week, guys. So let's see how much time we probably have. I have 8 seconds left. So here's the thing: should we save these videos? Because I save the videos, then I don't have to do anything for next week, pretty much. Because that's the hardest part right there. All I gotta do is just get another video in. I guess I can do that. I did talk a lot this week, didn't I? And these are only supposed to be 30 minutes. I don't want to take too much of your time. So I guess I should do this. I should probably go off and... You think I should probably ride? Yeah, I should probably... What time is it? 11, yeah. Because if I want to... I have basically 2 more hours before my tea time. No, well, 11:30, 12, 1, 2. Yeah, 2:30. So actually 3. What am I talking about? So I can just go get other things done. Okay, I'm just going to end this. That's basically, you just witnessed what I do in my head. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, if you got this far, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I guess I don't really do much this week. This episode's going to be really different. All right, anyway, look both ways, wash your hands, look out for deer. I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
My toe this morning without any warning, and it felt like I would die. It wouldn't be this way in the golden age when the door frames all were white. The Black Hawk Flyer was a DEI hire, and the LA Fire was too. If it looks like a scapegoat, smells like a scapegoat, it's probably a bad excuse. I've been denied success. All the skills I do possess, any other time would have made me a winner. We got to get into fixing, get the women back in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant, cooking dinner. We could destroy man before the Chinese can. We could program God real cheap. I got all this merit, but I just can't share it, 'cause NVIDIA won't hire me. Am I the victim of an unfair system? A better method used to be employed when mediocrity was subsidized by a procedure called the good old boys. Where's the nation and the generation that landed man on the moon? Was it immigrant